it's a little early for this. Well, it's not a little early, but I'm not to these books yet. But on my book Monopoly board, this is where I am. So I just put this in here to save my place while I have to close my book because I can't keep my little token there. But anyway, this is where I am. And over here, I have my NPR reads for 2018, 2019, and 2020. So I'm about to pick those books out really quickly and use my phone to pick the numbers. So I'm on the NPR website right now and I have 2018 pulled up and there are 55 options. So I'm going to have my phone choose. Pick a number 1 to 55.
It's 55.
That's hilarious. It's never been like the last one. So it is a book called Terra Nullius. I will put it up here. I will put it up on the screen, but it is also in the sci-fi fantasy realm and for history lovers. So I'm excited about that. The novel was shortlisted for several Australian awards, and no wonder it's a debut that leaves you excited for what's next. So it's by Claire Coleman. So I'm excited about that. That looks awesome. So that is going to be my 2018, if I land on that, or when I land on that, that's the one I'm going to read. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for 2019. So I'm going over here. It has 74 options. Pick a number 1 to 74.
It's 39.
Right in the middle, really. Okay, 39. It's called The Empire and the Five Kings, America's Abdication and the Fate of the World. This is also an eye-opening reads and the dark side and the states we're in. So I will post this book up here, but this is apparently a nonfiction. Renowned French philosopher Bernard Henry Levy argues that America's influence is declining and 5 powers, China, Russia, Iran, Turkey, and Sunni radical Islam, are ready to take its place in the world. Levy argues that the United States, while built on idealism and laudable principles, is now focused only on the short term and lacks a strategic aim. So that came out in 2019. So I'm going to be reading that one when I land on the 2019 space. Now then, for 2020, there are 82. Pick a number between 1 and 82.
The answer is 7.
That'll be easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. This says, turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. We follow a literal band of misfits in London's psychedelic 1960s as they struggle to find success as a musical act and learn about each other. So that is my 2020 Tales from Around the World book. So if I land on the 2020 space, I will read Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. Okay, so we are going to be leaving to go on our trip, and I know that I am only rolling one book at a time, but I'm not going to have my physical TBR here with me to read. So I thought I would go ahead and see what my next roll is. So here's where I stopped right here. I'm going to switch you to a different camera angle. Okay, so that's where I stopped. Also, one of the things that I decided after I did this first roll was that I was going to use these adorable dice as my ones to roll. So I'm actually going to roll over here and add them up. And I don't get anything if I circle this board. So it doesn't matter how many die I roll at one time. So I want to roll all 3 of them because they're adorable. So the book that I'm reading right now is the Janet Ivanovich book for NetGalley. So when I finish that, while I'm on my trip, in case I have a physical book next, I need to know what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. Okay, 12. So that is a chance card, which could be a physical TBR or a library read. I hope that it's a physical TBR. Of course not. It's a library book. So, and that means like a physical book from the library. And that's going to be problematic because I'm pretty sure that my library is not open right now for me to go and pick out a book. So I'm going to just say physical TBR. It has to be on my physical TBR. So let me look that up and roll, and we'll see what that is. So just a second. So my physical TBR has, I think I have all of my books on here, and it's 164 books. So I'm going to tell it to pick a number between 2 and 165 because that's how it's listed on my sheet, and I'll see what it's going to be. Pick a number between 2 and 165.
1 sec. It's 92.
And it picked between 0 and 100, which is not what I said. Let me try it again. Pick a number between 2 and 165.
It's 115.
Okay, so I'm scrolling up here. 115 is The Good Lie by Tom Rosenstiel. So let me go grab that and I will be right back. Okay, so up at the top, it says a twisty, provocative thriller exposing the darkest side of politics. So actually, if I finish, so this is not what I'm reading first. I am taking this with me on my trip though. So when I finish The Protector or The Recovery Agent is what I'm reading right now. When I finish that, I'm not reading it yet. That's what I'm going to read first on my trip. When I finish that, I'm going to read this. If I finish this before I come home, I think I'm going to leave this with my parents because this sounds like something my dad would like to read. So that is going to be the plan right now. That's nice too. It's not a very big book. It's 350-ish pages. So that will be awesome. All right. So I'm packing these up. I'm glad that it's about the same size as my journal. I will roll again if I finish this book, and we'll just see where we are in the week and what's going on. But that will be later in the weekly update. So that's where we are right now. It is so weird for me to go back to weekly videos after I've been doing daily videos. So just bear with me for a little while. Well, hi. I have just finished my first book. It is Wednesday the 4th, and I just finished The Recovery Agent about an hour ago or so. And I cannot tell you how good it feels to already be on the 4th day of the month and have just finished my first book. Now, I understand that that is bizarre and that's not what most people try to do when they're reading. But if you've been around my channel at all, you know that one of the things I'm trying to do is release the pressure that I have put on myself to read constantly. And so part of it has been helped by the fact that I am on vacation. I am visiting my parents, which is why I'm recording this in the car, because there's not a lot of alone places in their house to be able to film. So maybe my next check-in will be in their house, because if you were here in April, I was still reading The Bone Ships, and that's my audio read, and I still haven't finished it, but I have 45 minutes left. So I'm definitely going to finish that tonight as well. So I guess I'll finish 2 books by the 4th, but one of them shouldn't really count because I listened to the majority of it last month. So anyway, I mean, I'm totally counting it for this month because that's the way I do my stats, is based on when I finish the book, not started it and not read the most of it or anything like that when I finished it. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about The Recovery Agent first. This is an ARC I got. This was the roll that I did on my new Bookopoly board, and I landed on NetGalley, and I picked The Recovery Agent by Janet Ivanovich. It was, I don't know how to describe it. I've read a few of her Stephanie Plum books, and so that like snarky kind of writing that she does on there, she definitely does in The Recovery Agent, that same kind of language and banter and stuff. But there were so many people that got killed in this book, like so many dead people. And it was just like, yeah, we shot him. Let's just keep going. And then there was one guy who was being tortured to the point where she even says, like, he peed his pants And then he says, immediately after that, they're like, the next thing we're going to do is poke your eye out with a hot poker. Well, instead of him still being scared from just getting branded, he's thinking, oh, I hope they pick the left eye because that's where I have the worst cataracts. Like, I just feel like that was thrown in there to be funny, but it was very jarring to be like he's literally being tortured and we're trying to be funny. So I don't know if the book was her attempt at like being more serious or trying to write more serious topics or something. And she also felt like she just needed to include the humor that she's kind of known for. I don't know, but it felt like it couldn't decide what it wanted to be to me. I enjoyed the like funny bantery parts and the little character work that they did, I enjoyed, but there was not enough character work for me. It was way too plot heavy. I really do not like holding the phone. It's heavy. Anyway, it was just way too much plot and not enough character for me. Sorry, I had to change where I was parked because I had to drop my son off somewhere, and so now I'm in the sun. But anyway, all I wanted to say was I'm excited about the next book I'm reading, and I will be checking in when I finish the Bone Ships later today from somewhere at my parents' house probably. And then I will see what else is happening. My mother finished her first book that was recommended to her when she was on my channel a couple months ago. And so maybe she can talk about that book. She said she really enjoyed the writing. We do have a festival happening this weekend, so I'm going to read a little and enjoy the festival. I know that I said the festival started this weekend, but they're having rides and stuff like carnival rides, and they start tonight. So we're going to go do a little bit of that tonight. I mean, I'm not riding anything, but my kids will. So we're just going to go over there and hang out for a little while, and that's it. Otherwise, we're just hanging out, and I'm reading and chatting, and that's it. Okay, hey, I'm still trying to get this camera to sit straight in my car, and I can't really figure it out, so I'm going to turn the air down, although I am in Arkansas and it is hot. But I am sitting here in my parents' driveway right now. I'm about to go to my in-laws' house because we're going to have steak dinner tonight. So my mother-in-law is a fantastic cook, so I'm going to see if I can remember to get some video and stuff of us tonight. So anyway, I wanted to come on and tell you about the book that I just finished yesterday, Innocent in Death. I know that I was going slower reading books, and then all of a sudden I had a free day, and those books take less than 5 hours to read one of them, like the normal sized one. So I finished it. It had the coolest / creepiest killer that we have ever had yet in one of these in-depth books, and it was so good. I was a little bit scared because I actually read the synopsis of this one before I started, and I really shouldn't have done that because I really psyched myself out that bad things were going to happen, and it ended up not being as bad as I thought it would be. So I don't want to tell you what I thought was going to happen because it'll give it away for you if you're reading. Anyway, I am like weirdly in this car because my little stand that I usually put this on is kind of falling off. So anyway, it is Friday. We will be driving home on Sunday, and then this video will go up Monday. So we only have a couple more days. I'm probably going to finish the next one that I rolled, which was the physical TBR. And so when we get home tomorrow, on Sunday, I'm probably going to roll another book because it's killing me that I can't see what my next Bookopoly read is going to be. And so I'm excited about it, but I want to be able to roll it, and I can't. So, I can't only because I'm being weird and saying that I have to use the 3 tiny dice to roll when I could probably just roll any dice. My brother-in-law is a big gamer. He plays D&D and all kinds of board games. And so I know he's got he's got a lot of dice. And so I could actually just borrow one of his big D20 die and roll that and see what I get. So if I decide to do that, what I'll have to do is I'll have to record myself rolling the die the dice at his house. And then when I get back here to my parents' house tonight, I will have to open up my Bookopoly book and see where I got and where I am. But that's only if I can finish the Good Lie, which I should be able to finish later today. But I just wanted to come on here and talk to you about Innocent in Death because I finished reading it. So that's where I am now. The next audiobook that I'm going to be starting is Priest of Lies. We did Priests of Bone last month, reading through that whole series, and so this is book number 2, and I just had it listed as one of my audio reads when I had time to do it. And since I just finished one of the J.D. Robb books, I thought, why not just pick it up next? It's so nice to just have a list of audiobooks that I want to read at some point, and I'm just like, yeah, I think I'll go with that one next. It's just so freeing. So anyway, I think I'll be starting that one later tonight, and with all the driving that I'm doing this weekend, I will probably be able to finish it. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. I am going to start driving and stop awkwardly leaning in this car to try to get in the frame. Okay, yes, I am in my car, not plugged up over there like I usually am, sitting over there. I am going up to the library to try to get a video to upload. Y'all, the internet speeds down here are horrible. Anyway, I finished The Good Lie. It was okay. My problem with it is that it would make a better movie, I think, than it does a book, because it's the kind of book where it's a political intrigue. If you like political intrigue books, I really think that you would like this. Just these people who film in their cars, I don't know how y'all are doing it. I can't make this work right. Oh, that's okay. That's pretty good. Not great, but it'll do for right now. Okay, The Good Lie. So, I wanted there to be more of the personal story of Peter Reyna. Like, it says that this is Peter Reyna book number 2, and I was actually kind of worried about starting with book 2. But honestly, they make some references to what they did in book 1, but that's it. So I don't think that it matters or anything. But, I mean, in this book, they get invited at the beginning to a meeting where a guy wants to run for president, one of the senators, and he wants them to do his opposition research to see what's going to come out if he decides to run for president. So throughout the book, that's kind of in the background, just like, are we going to take him or are we not? But the main plot is that an American building in a country in Africa is blown up, and a brigadier general, I think, is killed in the explosion. And they are asked by the president to solve what's going on, because the president claims that he had no idea about any kind of operation or why the general would even be there. So they are using all their contacts and everything to solve it. But at the same time, we're getting this secondary point of view, I guess, or secondary, I don't know, plot of a reporter who is also doing research on this same story, and she's talking to all of her sources and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know, it just felt very much like, here's what this group is doing, and here's what this person is doing, and here's what this person is doing, and there wasn't a lot of character stuff, which is that's what I want to read a book for, is the character development and all about the characters. This is very much all about the plot. And again, if you're watching this in a movie and you saw the president or the Secretary of Defense and he had a bunch of people around him and they were all talking, you would just know, like, okay, those are political officials. But you wouldn't need to know, like, who they all were. There's only a few of them that you even need to know who they are. But in a book, he would have to say who each of the people were and, like, describe the room they're in and what they're wearing. And I was like, that's a little bit too much. So it just got slow for me in parts, and it just didn't flow well. And again, there was way too much focus on this person or group is doing this, this person or group is doing this, and not the why. Like, we got a little bit of character development from our main character, but I wouldn't even have known that he was really the main character if they hadn't have told me. Like, he does get more time on the page than the other people, but not a ton. So I don't know. Anyway, I guess I have mixed feelings about The Good Lie. I had my mother last night roll the dice to see what my next book was going to be. Okay, so where are you going to roll it? Is that empty?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead then. Okay, what does it say?
Let's see what it says. 17.
Okay, 17. So, if I was right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that is the 6th book on my list. So I'm going to go look it up on the computer. She rolled a 17, and then I had to go find that on number 6 on my thing, and it was Neverwhere by Neil. Now, I have heard plenty of y'all saying Neil Gaiman. Well, my children thought it was hilarious that I was pronouncing it that way because they both say that it's Neil Gaiman. So if somebody could tell me whether my teenage boys are right or if a lot of booktubers are right, I would like to know. Because I thought it was Neil Gaiman. They say it's Neil Gaiman. I would like to know. Anybody know exactly how it's said? Anyway, it's my first book by Neil, and I am excited to read it. I immediately went and looked, and I have it on Libby, so I got it from the library. Now, part of this new way of doing my TBR was to make it where I didn't feel stressed about having to read. Well, I didn't think about the fact that the library was going to have books due and that I would feel stressed to have to read. And really I don't, but it is giving me like no options right now because I was going to start the next Priest of Lies book, but that one is not on Libby. That one I just own. And I went and looked at Libby and I put The Wind Through the Keyhole on there, which is my next Stephen King book, but I needed to put it on hold. And it said it would be 2 to 3 week wait. And I was like, okay, so I put that on there. And then it came up the next day that it was available. And so I actually can't read The Wind Through the Keyhole until I read these 2 short stories in Everything's Eventual. I think that's the name of the book. And so I decided to start there. So I'm reading one of those short stories now. That's what I'm listening to on audio because my Stephen King book is at home. And then I'm going to listen to the other short story before I start Wind Through the Keyhole. So at the same time, I've already gotten the next Tamara Pierce book because it was on hold at the library and it came off hold. So, I mean, I have them for 21 days, so it's not a ton of pressure. I just mean that I have my next few audiobooks like already picked out for me because of the library holds. But I am excited about Neverwhere and how the Bookopoly thing is going so far. I really like it. And so that's just what I'm going to keep doing. It's Saturday, by the way, and I went up to the library, and because of the festival that they're having, I could not get close to the library because it's right near the square where they're having the festival. So today is festival day, and I can't get to the library. So I guess I'm just going to have to upload that video later. I'm glad my client is super understanding about me being on vacation and not being able to get her a video because this internet situation is no joke. So anyway, and now I'm going to go inside and read. I tried to get the things in and I couldn't, so we're going to hang out inside for a while, and then this afternoon we're going back to the festival.